What's up, YouTube? It's your boy SiNfull here, bringing you another YouTube video today. And today we're going to be talking about having a tactical mindset, no matter what the game you're playing. The gameplay you're seeing in the background is Tom Clancy's Endwar, and this is one of the stuff I did when I was doing my World War III campaign. I'm playing as the United States, and Russia was attacking one of the air bases in the States, so I decided to go on the defense. And it's pretty much almost a flawless victory. I think I lose 2 or 3 units. I get 2 or 3 of my units neutralized, and that's about it. A lot of people look at Tom Clancy's Endwar and they think, oh, it's a real-time strategy game. It's very, very basic, though. If you've ever played Wargame Dread Dragon or any of the war games or anything like that, you know that those games are 10 times more tactical and more real-time strategy than Endwar is. Endwar is very basic in that regard, but it's good because I enjoy it, and I love the Overlord command system. I can just say things, and bam, it'll happen. But today we're going to be talking about, in general, and this goes throughout all video games that you play, Call of Duty, Battlefield, you know, real-time strategy games, World of Warcraft, CSGO. It stretches across all of that. And it's having a tactical mindset when you play the game. I compiled a list of ideas that I do when I play my games. And when I play competitively, what is running through my head when I'm calling shots and when I'm telling people to do things. It's just the stuff that's running through my head at the moment. So let's go ahead and start off. One of the very most important things and one of the very basic things about having a tactical mindset is viewing the battlefield as a whole and knowing what positions you need to take in the battlefield in order to secure your win. That would be your anchors in Hardpoint. Not a lot of people remember anchoring in Hardpoint, except from Black Ops 2, where it was incredibly important. Anchors in Hardpoint, blocking off spawns in CTF, that is very, very crucial. Not a lot of people do that at the level of competitive play that I do, but in the higher levels of competitive play, blocking spawns in CTF with bodies is very important. You got that, you got in stuff like Tom Clancy's Endwar and everything, very, very key areas you have to hold with a certain unit type in order to really excel at the game and really give your team the upper hand. So positioning on the battlefield and knowing the battlefield that you are on is key. And that brings us right into our second point, positioning. Yeah, it's good to run around, have that wildcard player, but at the same time, you also need units in specific positions to achieve your objective. And this is your blockers in Search and Destroy. You're running with the flag. You want to have somebody parallel to the flag in the parallel lane, and somebody at base holding their side, holding the opposite side, and somebody escorting the flag carrier. That's a general very good Search and Destroy, or not Search and Destroy, capture the flag. Positioning right there for when you're running the flag. When you're trying to get up to the flag, you have your 3-lane system plus one guy in the lane you're pushing. Very useful there. And then you can adaptively fall back to base, head back to mid, head back to their base. You can bounce all across the map as you please. Very adaptive playstyle. But that takes us into running about. Just running about the map. A lot of people do that, and it's not as effective as people think it is. Having a wild card helps in many scenarios, but it hurts in far more. That's a quote that I come up with. And while a wild card is nice, once people figure out how to work around that, it's just a detriment to you, and you need to be able to chain that in and actually get him to operate with the rest of the team in that unit fashion. The next point we're going to talk about is valuing your units as your #1 priority. Making sure that you make every death count, every unit count, every action needs to count. You need to have that plan flowing in your head of this doesn't work, this is going to happen next, I'm going to bring this unit back. You're going to see here in the gameplay that I call up a chopper unit forward to attack another chopper unit and then bring it back towards my other units to try to bait out their chopper. And then their chopper unit tries to do the same to me, and it's just back and forth tug of war in that regard of just baiting and switching. Bait and switch, you got your trades going on there, very, very important. And that works in Call of Duty as well. You got your trading, you got your baiting. You want to make sure that every death counts in Call of Duty. Great line in a Halo book I once read, and it was, as a leader, it is okay to spend lives, however, it is not okay to waste those lives. Meaning that it's okay if one of your teammates goes down on the flank in CTF, because that means that that enemy player that had to sit there and take the time to shoot at your teammate means that he's not running forward to get to a new position. I talk about this all the time in Rush and Battlefield. The more time the enemy team spends shooting you is more time that they won't have to defuse the MCOM or to arm the MCOM, basically. And it allows your team to get into position. It stops their team from getting in position. Just every little death needs to count in some way, shape, or form. You know, having somebody get a quad feed is really, really hurting your team. Having somebody rush up on a flank and spray down your guys. Having a lightning strike come in and just absolutely destroy everything. It all flows very well. You need to be adaptive when you play it, but you also need to work together as well. So it's a very fine line between spending lives and wasting lives that you really have to ride as the team leader. After that, let's go ahead and talk about how the enemy is always going to have a plan. You have this plan in your head. You're thinking 3 steps ahead, but maybe your enemy is thinking 4 steps ahead. You always have to anticipate the enemy's actions as a plan. Everything the enemy does will chain together. You have to expect that from them. So when you attack the enemy and they do something that you're not sure of, or they call up a unit, or they retreat a unit, or they move their unit in a certain way, you have to anticipate that as part of their plan, and they're chaining it together to make it work to make you lose. So you really have to expect that, play your cards right, and always have an adaptive strategy. It's nice to be 3 steps ahead, but at the same time, if you aren't on the same page as the enemy and able to switch up your strategy when you need to, you're going to lose very, very quickly. Baiting and trading, I already touched up on this earlier. Baiting and trading is very important. Bait out your units. Get those trades. If they take down one of your guys, you take down one of them, and then you be ready for them to trade as well. I see a lot of our guys do this in Search and Destroy in Call of Duty. They'll get the 1 kill and then they'll immediately run away and get shot in the back by the guy that trades. That's very, very crucial in any Call of Duty or any video game in general where it's a first-person shooter like that, where you got your teammates sticking together like that. You always have to expect the trade after you get the kill. You always have to expect somebody to counter and try to punish that kill. So you always got to be ready for another enemy to round the corner. It's something I learned playing lots and lots of Search and Destroy. You get the 1 kill, you got to sit there and wait for the next guy to pop the corner, because he probably will, or he's going to flank you. Wait on the flank, shoot him dead. Speaking of flanking and positioning, a flank doesn't always have to come from the side or from the back. You can flank from up high, down low as well. You're going to see an Endwar here. I actually do that, where I flank a transport unit with a helicopter unit, which is a big no-no. You're not supposed to attack transport units. Transport units take down helicopter units really fast. But I had the tank unit already attacking. So I was relieving pressure from the tank unit by shooting at the enemy with the helicopter unit from the quote-unquote flank, being in the sky. So that was putting on more pressure. Pressure is very important in every scenario. Just having that constant application of pressure, especially, I'm going to touch more on COD here, especially in game modes like Hardpoint, where you're constantly rushing the hill. That's why anchoring is so important, getting the spawns down so you have a good spawn to always push in that hill and get those kills. Pressure wears off the enemy a lot. That's why you see guys do pressure tests all the time. They're trying to make sure that they can react to get those chain kills and just keep going without losing a step in that wheel. But pressure is a very, very important thing, especially when it comes to spending your units, so to speak. You're going to hear me use that term a lot during this. Spending your units, I don't mean like as currency or anything. I mean you literally need to spend your units in a way where if they go down, it doesn't matter because you're still going to win. Or if they go down, that death matters because they still did something to help you win. You got to make every kill, every death seem that way. That's why pressure is so important in this game, in any game really. You know, people talk about it all the time. KD doesn't mean shit. It's true. KD doesn't mean anything. Score per minute honestly doesn't mean anything. No stat means anything. It's your position on the map. I guess I'm more in lines of talking in this video. I'm less in lines of talking of tacticality, and I'm more in lines of talking about positioning and where you are. Positioning is the main thing that you think of in a tactical mindset. You have your prioritizing enemies. That's very basic, all that. But positioning is the key thing. You're gonna see when you guys watch me play Call of Duty. I run the M8 a lot. I'm one of the main ARs for the team. So, and I'm talking Black Ops 2. We went back to Black Ops 2 because AW was wank. So we went back to Black Ops 2 to play that, and I'm really good with the M8, just like I was decent with the BAL, and I've been decent with ARs for a long time. But that's rambling on to the point. You're gonna see me use the M8 a lot, and there's gonna be scenarios where I know they're going to rush me with a sub, so I'm going to reposition myself so that I have a head glitch or I have decent cover, or they're going to have to make some really risky moves if they want to challenge me in that position, so I can guarantee that kill. Or if they do try to rush to kill me and they do kill me, they're so far away from the rest of my team that it doesn't matter. My team's going to be able to move on, get the objective, you know, save the hard point, all that. That's kind of the role I play in the team. I always am the one that has the best positioning. That way, so I can chain together kills, get spawns for my team, or just all in all, just be there in the enemy's way so that they can't position themselves on that flank or anything. So that's pretty much the basics of this. Is that positioning is key for everything. You have to know how to establish your position on your own. There's no solid formula to how to position yourself. It's more you learn it through as you play. It's through all the deaths you have. That's why in Battlefield I am considered a very, very, very good Battlefield 4 player, Battlefield Hardline player, because I know positioning. Positioning is so fundamental in the Battlefield series. If you're in the right position, you are going to do exceptionally well. I don't have the greatest gun skill, I don't have the greatest fighter jet skills or anything. I just have really good positioning. I know how to position myself, I know how to tactically move throughout the map so that I have great positioning to take out the enemy. And I know I've said the word positioning about 14 million times in this video, but that's the thing about this. You have to know how to position yourself on the map so that you are crucial to the team, and that's a key thing when it comes to knowing if you are being a good member of your team, is your positioning in the game. How many enemy interactions do you have? How many denials of routes did you cause for the enemy? How many times did you flank the enemy? How many times did you stop the enemy from getting that kill on the flag carrier because they had to go through you instead? How many times did the enemy, how close was the enemy to defusing the MCOM, but because you were in the way, they didn't have enough time to defuse it, even after they killed you? It's all about, like, okay, let's put it this way. When you play a video game, you shouldn't think of every death being a bad death. You should look at that death and see, was I in the right place? Was I in a good position? Did that work? Did that not work? How can I better myself? And that all ties into what I was talking about in my How to Be a Good Player video, and self-improvement. Self-improvement is always important. Instead of thinking for yourself, think for yourself and the team's regard, and think of how you can better yourself for the team. Anyways, guys, I'm going to let this video run out a little bit. You guys can see that I get pretty bored here. I start spawn trapping them. But yeah, if you guys enjoy this video, leave a like down below. Leave a like down below. Subscribe for more content. And always leave a comment. I try to read all comments that I possibly can, and try to reply to as many as I possibly can. Either way, Fenrir